Now then, as regards the new configuration with arts in government, the environment, wildlife protection, water pollution and all that, a lot of people are unhappy the way everything has fallen and feel a lot of these particular responsibilities have fallen between different stools and maybe could be forgotten. Deputy Andrew Doyle joins us. Good morning, Andrew.
Morning, Declan.
Good morning. And people from the arts and wildlife and heritage are saying, we just don't understand the way the configuration of government is on all these matters. The Department of Environment, does it exist at all? The word heritage has disappeared. Can you give us an explanation of the thinking of government in this?
Yeah, I suppose there's a mandatory limit of 15 cabinet posts plus the junior minister and super junior, I think they call them, and the whip. But essentially, there are only a limited number of departmental senior ministerial appointments that can be made for good reason. The last government, established the Department for Children, which was separated out from health and children. So I suppose that put it, and it's now it is Children and Youth Affairs actually, which was agreed upon. So as for the other configurations, I'm just looking at we just take wildlife. We have the National Parks and Wildlife Service, which have always been under the Department of Arts, Heritage, the Gael, or some configuration of that. Now it's Regional Affairs, Rural Development, and just trying to see the full title here, Arts and the Gael. People are saying that heritage should be in it. It's very difficult, I suppose, to include everything. One thing that people may not realise, and when a budget, and it's all about money and allocation, I suppose, and focus, obviously, when a budget is being, the estimates, the budget is presented as the book of estimates, and we just say, I know agriculture is vote number 30, it's called vote number 30, and every area of responsibility, including the likes of Board BA, Board Ishwar, and that, are assigned a budget, and that's taken out of that total vote. So if Defence, which was a standalone department, but in the last Dáil was moved from Justice to Simon Coveney's department, the Defence was slightly different. It stayed separately. But if we were to take Rural Affairs, say, or Regional Affairs, Rural Development, if that was in agriculture and was then moved to arts, it then that element of that vote budget is moved across to the other department. So the money follows the area, the department that has the responsibility. That's the way
that sounds just so bureaucratic. Well,
it is bureaucratic, but I mean, it's every line in each department vote at the budget is actually accounted for. Every line, every area of responsibility. So, I don't think anyone would say that. Just Defence, right? Defence has been in with Justice, has been in with Agriculture, and has been in with the Marine. Many years ago, Sean Barrett was the Senior Minister for Marine and Defence, or Defence and Marine. Some people say that's a good fit. Natural Resources has always had inland waterways, and when you get to freshwater, from freshwater to seawater, you sort of move to agriculture. The estuaries have always been a sort of a grey area.
People are concerned that these disparate things like wildlife and water protection and air quality and wildlife protection, they'll all, be forgotten about because other people have priorities in the departments.
Well, time will tell. I mean, when Simon Coveney got Defence, handed to him the last time, people said, well, agriculture is going to get neglected, Defence is going to get neglected. Yes, he found the time to assign a continuous series of naval vessels over to the Mediterranean on rescue missions. I don't think anyone would argue with that Defence suffered because it was put in with agriculture, or agriculture suffered. You have to have faith in the fact that the ministers will take on their role. Dennis Nocton, I would agree, is going to have a new title which will include communications, climate change and environment. and I think they're interlinked. Wildlife will stay with the area that covers most of the wildlife. A lot of the wildlife is covered under our national parks. So, in my opinion, it should stay with the department that's responsible for national parks.
Okay.
It has always been in PWS. And Forest and Wildlife Service at one stage, I mean, we wouldn't be the only country that has a division along those lines.
Okay, got to leave it there, Andrew. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, right there.
Thank you. And that is the explanation, anyway, of why all those departments have been broken up and gone elsewhere. We'll pursue that because a lot of people are very unhappy. We're going to meet Tim Chadwick very soon and hear from the Gardaí.